Call this Onslow County Board of Commissioners meeting to order for May 4, 2015. First thing we'll do tonight is,
Back up and hold it on.
okay. Call this Onslow County Board of Commissioners meeting to order for May 4th, 2015. First thing, Ms. Moxley, would you lead us in a prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance?
Let us pray. Compassionate and merciful God, we thank you for giving us another day, and we thank you for the abundance that we find here in Onslow County. We recognize that order, progress, and prosperity depend on the effective and skillful leadership of these commissioners, and we ask that you give them wisdom and strength as they carry out their duties and guide us through the upcoming budget process. Heavenly Father, this month we celebrate the contributions and achievements of older Americans. Thank you for the years of life they have shared with us. Encourage them to stay engaged, active, and involved in their own lives as well as in our communities. Almighty God, we ask that you keep our children safe from harm and preventable injury, and help us give all children the chance to grow up healthy and safe and become whatever they can imagine. Dear Lord, bless and protect the men and women in our military who serve their fellow citizens with tremendous courage, commitment, and sacrifice. And let us not forget the families they leave behind. Now, with deep respect for the faith, traditions, and beliefs of all who are gathered here, hear us in a moment of silence. Thank you. Mr. David B. Cotton, Deputy County Manager, will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight, and for those viewing, we appreciate you tuning in. If you have not silenced your phones or electronic devices, please do so now. The board affords the public two opportunities to speak at public comment. The first is a 3-minute opportunity, and we ask that your comments are kept to those items on tonight's agenda. The second opportunity comes towards the end of the meeting and is 5 minutes and is to be anything that the board has control over. We ask that if you have not signed up, you do so at the back of the room. You will be called in the order that you have signed up to speak. And as you approach the podium, we ask that you identify yourself with your name and address. While making your comments, we prefer that they be made to the board in its entirety, and your comments are kept civil. There is no response from the board at that time. However, if the board chooses, they can respond at commissioners' comments. We ask no endorsement of a candidate or a business. With that being done, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. A motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. This brings us to our first public comment, which is 3 minutes, which must be agenda-driven. Mr. Manager, do we have anyone signed up?
Madam Chair, we have no one signed up for the first public comment period.
Very well. Mr. Manager, would you take items 4, 5, and 6? The first ones being proclamations.
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. Proclamations. 2 proclamations have been prepared for presentation this evening. The first is State of North Carolina, County of Onslow proclamation for Onslow County Small Business Appreciation Week. At this time, I'll read the proclamation into the record. Whereas small business owners embody the spirit of entrepreneurship and strong work ethic that lie at the heart of the American dream, they are the backbone of our nation's economy, employing tens of millions of workers, and in the past 18 years have created the majority of new private sector jobs. And whereas America's small businesses reflect the principles that make our country great: vision, responsibility, innovation, dedication, and hard work. And whereas Onslow County recognizes and values the dedication and entrepreneurial spirit of small businesses that keep the economy growing stronger. And whereas during Small Business Week, Onslow County reaffirms our support for our local small businesses and celebrates the proud tradition of private enterprise they represent. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Onslow County Board of Commissioners does hereby acknowledge May 11th through 15th, 2015 as Onslow County Small Business Appreciation Week and supports this year's theme of Dream Big, Start Small in recognition of the important role small businesses have in our society and to pay tribute to the men and women whose ingenuity, integrity, and innovative spirit contribute to the free enterprise society upon which the American economy was founded. Presented this 4th day of May, 2015. Representatives of the Jacksonville-Onslow Chamber of Commerce Small Business Committee members will accept the proclamation. Chairman Eichner requests that Commissioner Williams present the proclamation. Commissioner Williams.
Come right this way, ladies. I must say to everyone tonight, on behalf of the commissioners, it is an honor and a privilege to be able to stand here before these two women who I get to work with quite a bit. And we have worked with this small business committee and had the Small Business Appreciation Week for a number of years at the Chamber of Commerce, which has been 26. And the small businesses that are here in this community, we would like to thank them all. We'd like to thank them for their tireless effort, what they bring to the community, their products and or service. And I would just like to pass this on to Lorette, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, to share a few words with the audience here tonight.
Commissioners, thank you so much for this. This is a very important part of what the Chamber does, and I'm proud to stand here and represent our Chamber tonight. Ann?
Well, I'm not sure what else I can add to that. I'm a little shorter than these two ladies. Let me get this microphone right. But Commissioners, on behalf of Coastal Carolina Community College's Small Business Center, we're very pleased to serve those wonderful men and women who go out there and put it on the line every day in their free enterprise, their small businesses. They entrust us with their dreams. It's a privilege for us to hold those dreams in our hands with them and to help them carry those dreams forward. And we're just privileged to live also in this wonderful community with so many entrepreneurial people and a wonderful entrepreneurial spirit that lives in Onslow County. So we thank you and particularly love this beautifully written proclamation this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The second proclamation is Older Americans Month 2015. At this time, I'll read the proclamation. Whereas older Americans have fortified our country and shaped our world, making groundbreaking discoveries, pioneered new industries, and strengthened communities. And whereas during Older Americans Month, we show our support and appreciation for those individuals who, with decades of experience and unyielding enthusiasm, continue to lift up our neighborhoods, offer perspectives on pressing challenges, and serve as role models to future generations. And whereas this year's theme for Older Americans Month, Get Into the Act, promoting healthy aging, increasing community involvement for older adults, and tackling important issues like the prevention of elder abuse. Now therefore be it proclaimed, that the Onslow County Board of Commissioners declares the month of May as Older Americans Month in Onslow County and urges all citizens to pay tribute to our parents, grandparents, friends, neighbors, and every senior near to our hearts, and further urges citizens to take advantage of the many resources and information available to educate the community on injury prevention. Presented this 4th day of May, 2015. Representatives of the Onslow County Department of Senior Services will come forward to accept the proclamation. Chairman Eichner requests that Commissioner Jarman present the proclamation. Commissioner Jarman.
Barn gets a chance to talk a little bit about it. And I would like to say, on behalf of the commissioners, we do thank you people for the programs that you put on for our senior citizens. I read today where you're gonna have several things coming up from now till May the 26th. And I know our seniors really appreciate it, and the board appreciates what you're doing. But I did read one thing there I think y'all need to kind of, look at real careful. One day you're going to have a jazz band.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, Wednesday.
And you're going to serve popcorn and peanuts?
That's with the movies.
Well, don't you think you need something a little softer than that for the old thing? Need some Jell-O or something like that? No, I'm just joking, but I do really appreciate what you ladies do. And there's... Have the mic.
It's a real privilege this year to accept this year's proclamation because it's the 50th anniversary of the passing of the Older Americans Act. And it's because of that act that we have the senior centers in the communities today, and I have a job. So I'm very grateful that this community gives Onslow County Senior Services the importance and the commitment that it does. It's Older Americans Month is 1 month out of the year where we really get to celebrate and we really get to talk about how our seniors contribute to the community. And while I'm not going to point any fingers behind me, we already know how important it is that our seniors participate in giving back to the community where they came from and how much they have to give in knowledge and history and love in their community. And in addition, we know that seniors more than ever are taking charge of their health. We know that they're engaging in their communities more than ever, and we know that they're giving back to their communities. And that's what Older Americans Month is about. So that's what this proclamation means to us at Senior Services. So this is Evelyn Denice, our Deputy Director, and Shelley Ashley, our Senior Center Supervisor.
That
Item
concludes
five.
item.
Continue.
Thank you, ma'am. That concludes item 4. Item 5, general items. A, request for acceptance of North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services Stream Debris Removal Grant. Ms. Sarah Sweeting, Lead District Technician, Onslow Soil and Water Conservation District, will present this item to the board. Ms. Sweeting.
Madam Chairman, Vice Chairman, Commissioners, good evening. Onslow County has previously been awarded the grant from North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services for stream debris removal. This has qualified us to be able to receive the third funding from the third phase. This grant approval is requested for vector controls use through soil and water conservation. The county has been awarded an additional $10,000 for this grant. This grant is used to remove vegetative debris from what's left over from Hurricane Irene. We respectfully request consideration to receive the additional $10,000 in grant funds.
Motion to approve.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Any comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Passes unanimously. Thank you.
Item B is a computer purchase for Economic Services Programs, Department of Social Services. Ms. Heidi Bauer, our Social Services Director, will present this item to the board. Ms. Bauer?
Good evening. The state of North Carolina and the Division of Social Services has required that local departments of social services have computers for their NC-FAST program. They have specific requirements that they need to meet the needs of NC-FAST. They also have offered a one-time offer where we will get reimbursement at a rate of 66% in the purchase of those computers. At this point, we would like to purchase 161 computers. These computers have to be used by staff who will do Medicaid eligibility. We have that money in our current budget, and it will cost us $164,684.96, and we would request that that amount be allowed to be used to purchase those computers.
What's the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Heidi, the amount that is needed for the match is within your budget? It will not cause any increase in the upcoming budget for these items?
No, ma'am, this money is in our current budget year and will incur no other cost.
Okay, thank you so much.
Is this almost a must, isn't it?
Pardon?
It's almost a must.
Yes.
Well, I sure hope that these new computers will assist you with the NC-FAST program. I know you've had an ordeal trying to maintain services for our citizens.
These computers do have the exact specifications they've given us to run NC-FAST at its maximum capacity.
Is that one computer for everybody that needs it, or is that just going to be what we can afford right now?
This is enough for every member of our economic services team who deals with the Medicaid program.
That's great. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Thank you.
Item C, resolution authorizing refunding of certain local obligation bond debt in order to realize debt service savings for the county. This is a continuation of actions that the board has done in previous board meetings. Ms. Leslie Moxley will be presenting this item to the board. Ms. Moxley.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Commissioners, this is the final step in refinancing some of our debt. As you will recall, we have certificates of participation for building schools back in 2006. We have certificates of participation from 2008 that involved the Justice Complex, and then we have some installment financing for the county building and the jail that was dated June 1st, 2008. This final step in the refinancing of that debt will save the county $188,000 on an annual basis and approximately $2.4 million over the next 13 years. We are refinancing an amount not to exceed $36 million. The final step in refinancing it is to consider adoption of a resolution entitled Resolution Approving the Proposed Sale by Onslow County Public Facilities Company of Limited Obligation Bonds Payable from Certain Installment Payments to be made by the County of Onslow, North Carolina, pursuant to a proposed installment financing agreement to refinance a portion of the cost of various projects, approving certain documents and actions relating thereto, and authorizing certain actions in connection therewith. You may consider a motion to approve that resolution if you desire to refinance this debt.
What's the board?
Adopt the resolution.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Item 6, appointments. A, Motor Vehicle Valuation Review Board. The Motor Vehicle Valuation Board consists of 3 members who are available to address and resolve motor vehicle valuation appeals. Taxpayers are afforded a period of 30 days from the due date on their combined registration tax notice to request an appeal. The initial review is conducted by tax office staff. If the taxpayer disagrees with the results of the tax office review, the taxpayer is referred to the Motor Vehicle Valuation Board as a second level of appeal. Decisions made by the local Motor Vehicle Valuation Board may be appealed to the Property Tax Commission in Raleigh. The current term for the Motor Vehicle Valuation Review Board expired on May 2, 2015. Mr. Gary Lankus, Mr. George Bill Hitch, and Mr. Robbie Yates have expressed a desire to continue serving on the board and have provided a citizen participation form. All applications for these gentlemen are on file and have been certified by the clerk's office. The specific action requested by the board is to respectfully consider reappointment of Mr. Gary Lankus, Mr. George Hitch, and Mr. Robbie Yates to the Motor Vehicle Valuation Review Board for 1-year term expiring May 2, 2016.
So moved.
Nice.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Passes unanimously.
Item B, Jacksonville Board of Adjustment, extraterritorial jurisdiction. Pursuant to NCGS 168-362, the extraterritorial jurisdiction representative of the City of Jacksonville Board of Adjustment shall be appointed by the Onslow County Board of Commissioners. Mr. Larry Johnson has expressed an interest in continuing serving on this board and has provided a citizen participation application. The specific action requested is consider reappointment of Mr. Larry Johnson to the City of Jacksonville Board of Adjustment, ETJ Representative Category, for a 3-year term expiring June 30, 2018.
Do I
So
have a
moved.
motion? Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Item C is the Holly Ridge Planning Board Board of Adjustment. During the March 10, 2015 regular meeting of the Holly Ridge Town Council, the council took action creating a Holly Ridge Planning Board Board of Adjustment. The combined boards shall consist of 7 members. 2 members shall be citizens of Onslow County who reside outside the corporate limits of the town of Holly Ridge, but within the ETJ. Due to these changes of the boards, all the seats have to be reapplied for. This vacancy has been advertised. Mr. Lloyd Anderson, who served as the ETJ representative on the Holly Ridge Planning Board, has expressed an interest in continuing his service and has provided a citizen participation application. The application is on file and has been certified. The specific action requested by the board is to consider the reappointment, or rather, the appointment of Mr. Lloyd Anderson to the Holly Ridge Planning Board Board of Adjustment for a 2-year term expiring April 28, 2017.
So moved. Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
That is the last item for item 6, moving to item 7. Turn it back over to you.
I don't believe we had anything pulled from the consent agenda. Do we have anyone signed up for the 5-minute public comment?
Yes, Madam Chair, we do have 2 individuals that have signed up for the second public comment period. During the second public comment period, there is a 5-minute time limit. In accordance with the board's rules of procedure, commissioners shall reserve responses, if any, for the commissioner comment period at the end of the agenda. Citizens shall have the opportunity to talk about any issue upon which the Board of Commissioners have control. The first individual that signed up to speak is Mr. David Williams of 109 Shadowbrook Drive. Mr. Williams, you have the podium for a time period not to exceed 5 minutes.
Yes, hello. A little follow-up to the last time I spoke in front of you. I know,
Excuse me, Mr. Williams, since you referenced your last visit to us, you did not get to a topic that this board has authority on. So I hope your comments tonight are a little bit more on point.
it is.
Thank
This is
you.
why I feel there's a direct link.
Thank you.
I know you do not have the right to tell the school board on how to act. I understand that. However, I feel you do have the right to ask questions when their possible actions can affect your future budgets. What do I mean by that? A good education usually leads to a better future in most cases. Now, for the last 25 years, I have run into many students who have graduated from the public school system, where they think they're at this level, they get out in the real world, and they find they're at this level. Okay, I've seen a lot of them pick themselves up and move on to bigger and better things, but I've also seen a lot of them get low-paying jobs and stay there, and then they're in their 20s, and they're still there, and then they get married or they have kids, and this is where it kind of falls into your territory. Because I've seen a lot of them get on Medicaid, I've seen a lot of them get food stamps, and whatever other avenues out there that we help them with. And they seem like they're owed that for some reason, a lot of them I talk to. And I think they learn it from their younger years when they're given stuff when they haven't earned it. And as time goes on, the sheriff's department comes and they want more money is needed for the sheriff's office to take care of robberies, et cetera, when these people decide to take shortcuts and what have you to a greater wealth. And that affects your budgets each and every year when you sit down and having to answer, do we give $1 million to the sheriff's department for this? Or do we give more money for Medicare or Medicaid and what have you? Okay. So all I'm asking, even though I know you don't have any control over the school board, which I understand, so all I ask is for, along with our state leaders, to ask why we pass students that haven't proven that they are ready to pass yet. Why are we trying to make it easier for our, and up there in the state, I believe they're trying to make it right now easier for our schools when they're graded to make a B into an A or a C into a B, or in our case, we had 5 schools with Ds. We need to ask why. We need to focus on why that is and not to make it easier to do it. Now, you can do this either as commissioners, which probably your hands are tied to some degree because one board doesn't like telling another board, or you can do it as private citizens. And I'm asking you to do this because this is where I feel it falls under your control. All I say is let's try to stop a tax increase before we are forced to do it. And that does fall under your control. That's all I'm asking. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
The next individual that signed up to speak is Mr. Fred Schachter of 148 Smallwood Road, Hubert. You have the podium for a time period not to exceed 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr.
Would you pass it to our clerk?
Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you this evening. Roughly 5-6 years ago, the board changed the first 7 lots on Smallwood Road at the intersection of Smallwood and Queens Creek Road from rural agricultural to commercial. At that time, I'd asked the board not to have made that change, but the change was made anyway. The change was made, and at the time, the commissioners who were serving at that time said it would be a benefit to the community. Well, it's 6 years later. I've now got an empty convenience store that's been empty for a year where garbage is piling up. I have a storage yard, an open storage yard area that was originally only supposed to be a temporary storage yard for Jack Hurst while he was building the homes in that subdivision, which is now becoming a permanent storage yard owned by Bryn Mawr Homes and leased to Davis Welding. I have spoken to Mr. Warren on both these issues. Some of the garbage at the convenience store has been cleaned up from the pictures that I have, that the clerk has. The storage yard is still being used by Davis Welding, and I believe, depending on the way you read the wording, that it was not supposed to be a lease deal. It was only supposed to be used by the owner of that yard, not to be leased out. I am asking for direction and guidance here from the board because I know they cannot do anything but to help clear the blight that was caused by the passage of that zoning change. The convenience store, which has been up for sale, probably will not sell at the current level. There are currently 5 empty convenience store sites within a 5-mile radius on better property, on better locations on Highway 24. The last one being on Bear Creek, the old Don Sweeting's former convenience store. None of those have sold, and because of the location, they probably will not meet the need. They won't meet the price that the current owner, who is in bankruptcy, will be able to sell that. So in the meantime, that building keeps rotting away slowly but surely, and it does not help my property values. So I'm asking the board for help and correcting a situation that they approved in the first place. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, that's the last individual that signed up for the second public comment period.
Thank you. Mr. Manager, do you have comments?
Only one, Madam Chair, members of the board. I would like to just mention that our budget team has been working every day, all day and into the evening on the county budget. Our departments have been at work for several months now. For the last 2 weeks, this last week and this week, we've been making this our sole focus. So by the end of this month, we will have a balanced budget to the Board of Commissioners. It will not have a property tax increase in the budget. I can tell you that probably not everyone that's requested funding of Onslow County will be happy, but it will be a balanced budget with the necessities of county government met and the citizens' needs met. And I look forward to presenting that to the board by the end of this month.
Thank you. Anything further? Okay. Commissioners' comments? Mr. Bright, we'll start with you if you'd like.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to congratulate Ann and Lorette for coming here tonight and accepting the Small Business Award. Small business is what drives the train. It's what keeps our economics going. And if you look down Western Boulevard with all the new, and other places too, but all the new businesses coming up, and that all adds to the growth of the county, and it's really good to see that we've got support from the college and support from the Chamber of Commerce to drive that train and help guide us. So thank you for being here tonight. On the other item that was issued earlier, we had the Older Americans Award that was given out. There was a lady, and she's going to be coming. There's a lady from Swansboro that was going to come tonight and just be here for the not to get the award, but be here as a older American, and she probably don't look much older than any of us sitting up here. Sorry, Barbara. But she's very, she's very vibrant, and she just February 22nd, she just celebrated her 106th birthday. Her name is Veda Birding, and the reason she didn't come tonight is because she said that she wasn't coming and appearing on live television without getting her hair done. So she'll be here at our next one of the meetings down the road. So we'll be looking forward. We'll be looking forward to seeing her. Stream cleanup and the grant that we got. A lot of people just don't realize how important stream cleanup is and keeping the waterways open, because when the waterways get stopped up and block the streams and the creeks and the river, it causes flooding of the timberland and destroys farmland and destroys timber. So a lot of people just don't realize how important that program is. Thank you, Tony, and thank you for being here tonight to give us that information and applying for that grant and getting that grant for us. Other than that, good night and have a safe trip home.
Thanks, Jack. Ms. Williams, would you like to go next?
Yes, I would love to, Madam Chair. And again, sentiments, as Commissioner Bright stated, Lorette and Ann for being here tonight, and I know the background work that it takes, what we do on the other side of the fence to make things happen for our small businesses. So I would just like to say to the citizens of Onslow County, during the week of May 11th through the 15th, please support our local business owners, our small businesses, because again, as Commissioner Bright stated, it is the economic engine for our community here, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So thank you both for being here for that. And also the hard work and dedication that the staff performs on a daily basis. And I know budget time, crunch time, it takes a lot. And I just want to say I appreciate the work that you're doing, and I know it'll be coming across our desk soon for approval and to see what's going on and who got what and who didn't. But and we'll see what's happening with that. And I would just also like to thank the staff for the grants that they write, because that really offsets a lot of the money here in which what we have to do and what we have to have accomplished here for the community. And with that, Madam Chairwoman, I am done.
Very well, thank you. Mr. Jarman?
Oh, goodness, I got something to say tonight. I hear a lot of people, Mr. Manager and board, talking about Jeff and the budget. I would like to say here tonight that Jeff is doing what the commissioners has asked him to do, that we want a balanced budget and with no taxes. And this is exactly what I think each one of the commissioners have asked for, and I feel like that's exactly what he's trying to do. And saying that, I just say thanks to all of you good people out there that are doing the job you're doing. I'm not going to point fingers at either one of you or neither one of you, but I appreciate all of you because you're doing a good job, and that's what makes our job easy. And thank you, and good night.
Thank you. Vice Chair?
That's kind of a hard act to follow.
I know. You can do
I
it.
want to echo what WC had to say, because we, as 5 of us, have given the direction to our manager on what we want done with the budget. If you want to blame anybody, you need to blame the 5 of us sitting here. Don't blame our administration or our manager. We're the ones that will take the blame for that. We're the ones that want the balanced budget, and that's what we're looking for. So anybody that's out there, and we're hearing a little bit of this, that, and the other thing, don't blame administration. Blame us. We're the ones that want the balanced budget. And Jeff, we support you in what you're doing and what the staff's doing. And Ann, and you know how I am about small business. I mean, you've been around me a long time. I mean, it is the backbone of Onslow County. It always has been, always will be. You've heard me say many times, even in my campaigns, that, you know, big business is nice, but it's not coming here that much. We're talking about big industry. We've been looking at that for years, but small business is coming. And I want to thank you and Lorette for what you have done for us in the community. It means a whole lot to me. And Jeff, with Fred's situation, there's not a whole lot we can do, Fred, but the only thing I can ask Jeff to do is have code enforcement go out there. If there's any problems with, you know, trash and stuff like that, we can't handle that, but anything else, our hands are tied, unless the actual owners want to change or rezone it. So we can do code enforcement at least. Thank you, and everybody have a safe trip home.
Thanks, Paul. Jeff, I was also going to ask if you could have a few words with Fred after the meeting and see if there's anything that we can do to assist him. Also, too, of course, I, like the other 4 commissioners, recognize the importance of small business. Certainly, there's nowhere anymore that we see than right here in Onslow County, how much small business means to our economy. So we thank you for all that you do, and we hope that you do patronize those small businesses. Also, too, our older Americans, it has been said many times over that a society is known by how they treat their elders. And I would certainly hope that at some day, when I'm held accountable, that I will be said of, she respected her elders and appreciated the senior citizens. I think nothing could be a bigger tribute to our county than for our county to be known for a county that is loving and compassionate to our seniors. And we appreciate the services that the county offers. I know y'all glad to get us out of your building, so you've got room to do something over there. But we really do need to show our older people, because I know some older people that that need to be shown some love and respect.
I'm going to go jag with them. Are you going?
I think it better be time for me to ask for an adjournment tonight. Jeff, good work on the budget. You stay steady to the course. We got you. Motion to adjourn. Second.
Thank you.
All in favor of adjourning? Aye. Passes unanimously.
you.
You go and shag it. I shag you.
Shaggy.